Well, good morning. It's April 10th, and it's, 6:25? 6:33. Getting a late start. It's 30 degrees, so we got some ice here. Sunrise is at 5:55, I think. And I forgot to check the cellular cams, so I don't know if the coyotes are back. Oh boy. I spent the day in the barn yesterday. I unloaded the generator from the bed of the truck, and I tore it apart, emptied the water and gas out of the tank. I took the carburetor off, checked the bowl, checked the float, blew everything out, and put it all back together. Before I put the tank on, I dribbled some gas into the carburetor. Tried to start it, wouldn't start. I had charged the battery up, but the battery shot. So I put a quick connect on it. Put a secondary battery on it, and the starter turns fine. So I dribbled a little more gas in the carburetor, and she started. And it ran for as long as that little bit of gas was in the carburetor. So put the tank back on, put some gas in it, checked for leaks. I saw that there was gas in the filter. Got one of those filters you can see if there's fluid in it. Try to start it, wouldn't start. Well, actually, tried to start it, but fired up for half a second. So, looked at the filter again. There's plenty of gas. Took the took the line off the carburetor because I didn't know whether it was getting through a filter. And the gas was pouring out the line, so it was getting to the carburetor. Put it back on. Tried to start it. Started for half a second and died. So did that 10 times. Same result every time. Now there's an electrical connection to the base of the carburetor. There's a solenoid, and it's shaped so it should only go in one way, but the problem is the solenoid doesn't have the matching shape. It's just rectangular, where the wire is definitely shaped. So I don't know whether it was replaced sometime with an aftermarket one. And I reversed it, thinking that might be the problem. It's not connected right. And nothing. So at that point, I had ripped it apart twice, put it back together again, and said, "The hell with it." It kicked my butt. And it was getting late in the day. It was a beautiful day yesterday though. Had the garage door open, bright sunshine. I actually had to take my my jacket off because it was too hot. So put everything back and put it on the side. Disconnected the secondary battery. I have to say the generator has an hour clock on it. It's only been used 2.5 hours. And it's probably 10 years old, 9 years old. The problem was that it had sat with gas in it and gelled up the carburetor. My daughter replaced the carburetor and got it running again. And then had problems with it again, so she bought a second generator. So Rita was getting dinner ready. I'm watching YouTube videos to see what might be the problem. And somebody down in Texas posted a really crappy video that he took over several weeks. And finally he got to the point where he got trying to start the generator, and it was doing the same thing. Start for half a second and then stop. So he replaced the solenoid finally, and it started running. I looked at other videos where they put 12-volt power to the solenoid connections, and the solenoid, when it has power, it pulls a little needle in. It's not a needle, it's bigger than that. But it sucks the needle in and lets the gas into the carburetor. And when there's no power, the needle comes out and shuts the gas off. So we just had a half hours of dinner, and I'm back out, rip the tank off, rip the carburetor off, pull the solenoid out, and I didn't have a way to put 12 volts in the solenoid. Got really tiny pins. So took it back to the house. Before I took it back to the house, the one guy had showed that the needle part of it, you could actually take it out, and there's a spring underneath it. If you take it out, then you always have gas going to the carburetor. But this solenoid couldn't take it out. It's stuck in there. So I took it to the house, found the 12-volt source, plugged it in. I could see a spark as it made the connection, but the solenoid does not move. So I ordered one from Amazon. Should be here between the 14th and 21st. The weird thing is, that was $36 for the solenoid. You can buy a carburetor with the solenoid, with 2 fuel filters, and a bunch of other stuff for $90. I should have done that, but here, let me just get the solenoid and try that. As much as the carburetor part looked fun. Flynn is making a deposit. have to go up here with a pooper scooper and clean it up. It's right in Jenny's driveway. My bud. So, to make matters worse, while I'm working on the damn generator, I bumped into the handle on it and tweaked my back. Boy, I saw stars. I've had back problems on and off since 1997 when I had surgery. Well, before I had surgery, I had back problems. 1987, I had the surgery to correct the problem. But still occasionally, if I move wrong or something like that, I have a problem. So the generator's in pieces in the barn till I get the solenoid, put it back together, and then hopefully it runs. It's a nice generator. 12,500 watts starting, 10,000 watts running, which is 25% bigger than my generator. I just don't know if it'll fit in the generator house. But we'll see. We'll measure it up and see. Come here. Looks like a pencil. Somewhere that goes with my tire. Anyway, today is the last monthly snowmobile club meeting for the season. Trails are closed 2 weeks ago. So we'll recap. We'll work out a plan for maintenance over the summer. I know the plow blade on the T7 New Holland has got a weak point. I don't know if there's a problem with the hydraulics, but when you're pushing, the blade will not hold in position a little bit, it'll just move. So that probably needs a new cylinder, new hydraulic cylinder. Oil change, and filters, of course. Grease it. I see a lot of clubs have already done their spring maintenance. They probably have heated facilities. Our garage is not heated. And we worked out there in the cold. I've been in there, negative 10 degrees. And you got a kerosene heater blowing, but you can't hear anything. And you have to stand in front of the heater to get any heat. Well, let's go, bud. So, 6:30, we'll have a potluck dinner because there's leftover from a previous dinner. Saturday's pot roast. I don't know how much. And we just have to review. We have a recording, so Rita has to compare her notes with the recording for the minutes. And we'll be down there at 6:30. Well, before 6:30, but food gets served. Serve yourself. 6:30. And the meeting's at 7. I'm glad the road firmed up. Last night when Flynn and I walked, it was all mud. You see my tracks, like footprints, and Flynn's footprints over there. A bit of a breeze, not much. Got to take a run down and pick up the mail at the post office. Tell them to start delivering again. It's supposed to get up to almost 60 degrees today. Strange to hear the dogs barking down the road. I don't know whether we're going to take a run into Lincoln. I'll grab a couple bags of topsoil and fill that spot where tires sank in. On a different note, my youngest daughter called us yesterday and said she's getting married. Hasn't set a date yet. She's been going out with her boyfriend Dave for a couple of years, and he just got sworn into the National Guard. I think it's the Air National Guard. The active generator, I'll have to get an adapter because it's got a 50 amp connector, and mine's got a 30 amp twist lock, so I'll have to get a 50 amp to 30 amp adapter. No, but in the house. But that'll be it for this morning. Snow's getting down. One of the things I have to do is wait for some rain, and put the heated track mats away. Yep. All right, thanks so much.